As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left locked up.
In order to be a person, you know, your scope of life, your vision gotta be bigger.
If somebody's watching me, then they know enough about me to know that I have no fear of death. So, you know what I mean? It just confirms that what I said was true.
You know, when we talk about the big names in 90s West Coast rap, a lot of folks tend to overlook Coolio. Sure, everyone remembers Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and those guys, but Coolio was right up there making a big impact too. His music had its own vibe, different from the usual gangster rap themes that were so popular back then. Instead of just focusing on street life and gangster stuff, Coolio's tracks were more about having a good time and tackling social issues. He was a smart guy and knew how to mix entertainment with meaningful messages.
I just don't rap about all the negative things. I rap about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Coolio wasn't just a rapper, he was also a businessman, actor, and record producer. This man had layers. Over his career, he got nominated for 6 Grammys, sold over 27 million albums worldwide, and appeared in more than 50 movies and TV shows. His versatility and talent were undeniable, but beyond the glitz and glamour, Coolio had some serious thoughts about the industry and the world around him. Right before he passed away, like a month or so before, Coolio started talking about some pretty heavy stuff. He was opening up about the darker side of the entertainment industry, things that usually happen behind closed doors. He said he had a lot more to reveal and wasn't afraid of what might come next. This led to some people believing that his sudden death wasn't just a coincidence. They think he might have been targeted and because of the truths he was planning to expose. In an interview just before he died, Coolio mentioned that he was approached by some very powerful people who wanted him to do certain things.
I've had come at me on some, oh, you should do this type shit. And I was like, what? Man, what the would I do that?
He was adamant about not bending to their demands and was outspoken about how streaming platforms were ripping off black artists. He was starting a movement to fight against these big platforms and was calling on other artists to join him. He knew it was risky and even said he might end up dead because of what he planned to reveal.
Somebody's after me, or if somebody's watching me, then they know enough about me to know that I have no fear of death. So, you know what I mean? It just confirms that what I said was true.
Also, Coolio was actually pretty worried because he had kids and grandkids he wanted to keep safe. Unfortunately, he still ended up meeting his demise.
There's a lot of shit I know that I want to tell people. It's a lot of things that I want to teach, but I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared because I got 4 grandchildren. I don't want nobody in my family to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to happen to my people.
Coolio's sudden death left a lot of questions and sparked various conspiracy theories. Some believe the powers that be wanted to silence him because of the information he had and the changes he was trying to bring about. So let's take a deeper dive into Coolio's life. Coolio's birth name was Artis Leon Ivy Jr., and he was born on August 1st, 1963 in Pennsylvania. After his parents divorced and his father went to prison, he moved to Compton at around 8 years old. Growing up, he faced a lot of challenges, including severe asthma that often landed him in the hospital. Despite these difficulties, his mother kept him focused on his education, often sending him to the library to read. Coolio developed a love for reading and became an avid reader. His dedication to learning paid off, and he became an honor roll student, even skipping a grade due to his intelligence. He once mentioned he was one of the 4 smartest kids in the elementary school. However, being small and young for his grade made him a target for bullies. At around 12 years old, Coolio discovered hip-hop and started rapping after meeting some neighbors from New York who introduced him to the genre. These neighbors often brought hip-hop music tapes and albums, and they would throw parties where Coolio got his first taste of rapping. His first rap name was Boo Daddy, a nickname given to him by his family who called him Boo. But one day, while he was playing the guitar, his friends jokingly called him Julio Iglesias after the famous Spanish singer. The name stuck and he eventually shortened it to Coolio. Life took a downturn when his mother and stepfather split up and his mother lost her job. This led her to drink heavily, and combined with the bullying he faced, Coolio sought protection by joining a gang, the Baby Crips, a subgroup of the notorious Crips. According to a biography by Steve Huey, he developed a menacing demeanor to assert himself better. This new lifestyle led him to carry weapons to school, which ruined his promising academic career. He also started committing armed robberies to buy food, which got him into serious trouble. He ended up spending 10 months in juvenile detention because of a larceny committed by one of his friends. Coolio's life took a significant turn after he experienced some deeply traumatic events during his time with his gang. He decided to distance himself from the gang lifestyle after witnessing a brutal school bathroom, followed by another horrifying incident where his gang members beat an outsider to death with a hammer. The latter incident was so gruesome that it caused him to vomit, marking a pivotal moment in his life. However, the widespread crack epidemic during that period posed new challenges. As crack became more prevalent, Coolio saw its devastating impact firsthand. His own mother succumbed to drug addiction, which deepened his descent into street life. Coolio himself began experimenting with drugs, starting with Eventually, he and his friends tried smoking crack on its own when they ran out of, leading to his immediate addiction. Recognizing the need for a drastic change, Coolio decided to kick his drug habit. In a move to escape his environment and the influences that drove his addiction, he relocated to Northern California, settling in a mountainous area near San Jose with his father, who had been released from prison. This new setting was instrumental in his rehabilitation. While there, Coolio took a significant step towards rebuilding his life by enrolling in college. He also joined a volunteer firefighter program specifically designed for recovering drug addicts, which not only helped him stay clean, but also provided a sense of purpose and community. During this transformative period, Coolio had a critical moment of self-realization. He found himself arguing with a close friend over a crack pipe, a confrontation that made him reflect on the path he was on. This incident was a wake-up call, reinforcing his decision to stay away from drugs. His mother played a crucial role in his recovery, having encouraged him to move to the mountains where he would be away from the triggers of his previous life in the city. The remote location limited his access to drugs and alcohol, facilitating his recovery. While living in Northern California, Coolio not only attended community college and served as a volunteer firefighter, but also worked in airport security.
Getting ready, I was making that move to quit. Then I started fighting fires, and that's when I got into the little firefighting program.
During this transformative period in Northern California, Coolio began to focus intensely on his rap career. His dedication led him to secure his first recording contract with a small independent label called Primo Records, which was later renamed Love Ness Records. He released a single titled What You're Going to Do, but unfortunately it did not garner much attention or help him make a significant breakthrough in the music industry. Despite the initial setback, Coolio was active in the rap scene and participated in various groups that helped him hone his craft. He was a member of the Soundmaster crew and another group called New School, which produced a track called What Makes You Dance Force Groove. His journey continued with a stint in a group called Low Profile, which was signed to Ice-T's Rhyme Syndicate label. Later, he joined WC in the Mad Circle, a collaboration that eventually led him to a solo deal with Priority Records. While with Priority Records, Coolio completed an album titled To Funk or Not to Funk. However, the album was never released as it was shelved by the label, and Coolio was dropped before the album could make its debut. This setback was particularly challenging because around the same time, members of WC and the Mad Circle began to align themselves with Ice Cube. WC became Ice Cube's hype man, Crazy Tunes became his DJ, and Big G took on the role of his security guard. Coolio, on the other hand, found himself on the outside looking in. Feeling left out and desperate to stay connected to the music scene, Coolio approached Ice Cube with a humble request to join his tour, even if just as a baggage or luggage carrier. Unfortunately, Ice Cube declined, citing a lack of space, which deeply disappointed Coolio. He was struggling financially and had children to support, making the rejection even more painful. Despite these difficulties, Coolio's resolve did not waver. He was determined to succeed in music, driven partly by the rejection and his challenging circumstances. At one point, his financial situation forced him to rely on welfare, an experience that was both humbling and motivating, especially as fans would sometimes recognize him while he was in line to cash government checks. Coolio's perseverance eventually led him to cross paths with Paul Stewart, a well-known manager in the industry who had successfully helped artists like Warren G and Montel Jordan secure deals with Def Jam. Paul Stewart was immediately impressed with Coolio's demo. Seeing its potential, he began actively promoting it to various record labels. This effort quickly bore fruit as notable labels like Jive Records and Polygram expressed interest in signing Coolio. However, it was Tommy Boy Records that ultimately won him over by offering $25,000 for a single deal. This was the most financially appealing offer, and it promised more opportunities should Coolio prove his mettle. Once Coolio began working at Tommy Boy Records, his exceptional work ethic quickly became evident. He was prolific in the studio, rapidly producing high-quality tracks. Impressed by his dedication and talent, the label upgraded his contract from a single to a full album deal. With this new opportunity, Coolio released 2 initial singles which performed moderately well. However, it was his third single, Fantastic Voyage, released on March 8, 1994, that catapulted him into the spotlight. The song soared to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and secured the number 2 spot on the Hot Rap Songs chart. It also achieved platinum status, selling over 1 million copies. Fantastic Voyage became particularly memorable for its creative use of a sample from Lakeside's 1980s hit of the same name, a factor that contributed significantly to its success. The success of Fantastic Voyage led to Coolio being nominated for Best Rap Solo Performance at the Grammy Awards. Although he narrowly lost Queen Latifah's Unity, encouraged by the success of his single, Coolio released his debut album, It Takes a Thief, which climbed to number 8 on the Billboard 200 and also went platinum. 1995 was a landmark year for Coolio as he released Gangsta's Paradise featuring LV. This track not only topped the charts in the United States but also reached number 1 in multiple countries including the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, Austria, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Switzerland, Australia, and New Zealand. The song's international success was unprecedented and it sold over 6 million copies worldwide. At the Grammy Awards, Gangsta's Paradise won Coolio the Best Rap Solo Performance, triumphing over significant contenders like Biggie's Big Papa, Tupac's Dear Mama, Skee-Lo's I Wish, and Dr. Dre's Keep Their Heads Ringin'. The song's impact was further cemented as it won Best Rap Video and Best Video from a Film at the MTV Video Music Awards, and Coolio was named Favorite Rap Hip-Hop Artist at the American Music Awards. Riding the wave of Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio quickly released his second studio album under the same title. This album mirrored the success of the single, achieving triple platinum status by selling over 3 million copies. Around the same time that Coolio was experiencing tremendous success with Gangsta's Paradise, he found himself in a bit of a controversy with Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al, known for his parodies of hit songs since the early 1980s, created a spoof of Gangsta's Paradise titled Amish Paradise. Initially, Coolio was upset about the parody, feeling that it mocked him personally and claiming that he had not given permission for the song to be remade. However, he later discovered that his record label had indeed authorized Weird Al to produce the parody, and he even received royalties from it. Realizing the misunderstanding, Coolio eventually apologized to Weird Al. Over the years, Weird Al has famously parodied numerous artists, including Michael Jackson with songs like Eat It and Fat, and Madonna with Like a Surgeon. During this period, Coolio was also in high demand worldwide, touring extensively. His friendship with Tupac Shakur, which predated Tupac's involvement with Death Row Records, was also a notable aspect of his life at the time. Coolio knew Tupac from his days with Digital Underground, and mentioned trying to mentor him before his rise to fame at Death Row. Professionally, Coolio was extremely active in the entertainment industry beyond his music career. He recorded It's All the Way Live Now for the soundtrack of the movie Eddie starring Whoopi Goldberg. He was featured on the track Hit 'Em High from the Space Jam soundtrack, a movie starring Michael Jordan. Additionally, Coolio created the theme song for the Nickelodeon TV show Kenan and Kel, titled Intro, and even appeared in a few episodes of the show. His involvement in these projects showcased his versatility and broad appeal. On August 26, 1997, Coolio released his third studio album, My Soul. While the album achieved gold certification, it did not replicate the massive commercial success of his earlier works. Although it performed reasonably well, it was considered a disappointment by his label Tommy Boy Records. Subsequently, due to the perceived underperformance of My Soul, Tommy Boy decided to part ways with Coolio, marking a significant turning point in his career. Coolio was notably dissatisfied with how his relationship with Tommy Boy Records ended. In various interviews, he expressed his frustration, particularly highlighting a pattern he observed with the label. He claimed that Tommy Boy Records had a habit of undermining their artists' careers by the time they released their third albums. Coolio speculated that this was due to contractual details that might have required the label to pay more money at that stage. He bluntly stated that anyone on Tommy Boy who released a third album experienced some form of sabotage from the label. Around the same time, Coolio faced several legal challenges that added to his troubles. One notable incident occurred while he was on tour in Europe. He was accused of physically assaulting a saleswoman by punching her in the stomach. The conflict arose after he and 6 members of his group allegedly left a boutique without paying for clothing valued at approximately $940. Coolio contested the allegations, explaining that there was a misunderstanding. He believed that the clothes were to be exchanged for his autographs, and he even offered to pay for the items when the misunderstanding was clarified. However, he claimed the saleswoman was reluctant to accept his credit card over cash. Ultimately, Coolio was sentenced to 6 months of probation and fined $30,000 for the incident. That same year, he found himself in legal hot water back in Los Angeles. He was arrested for possession of a concealed weapon and marijuana after police stopped him for driving on the wrong side of the road. Despite Despite these setbacks, Coolio continued to push forward with his music career. In 1999, seeking more control over his music and career trajectory, Coolio established his own record label, Crowbar Records, which partnered with Beyond Records for distribution. He began to work with various artists under his new label. In April 2001, he released his fourth album, Coolio.com, which was exclusively available in Japan through JVC Victor Records. He followed this with his fifth album the next year. By 2006, he collaborated with Snoop Dogg on a track called Gangster Walk for his sixth album. In addition to his music career, Coolio explored other ventures. In 2008, he starred in a reality TV show on the Oxygen network called Coolio's Rules, which portrayed his life as a single father raising his children. He also ventured into the culinary world with his cooking show, Cooking with Coolio, where he showcased how to prepare 5-star meals at a 1-star price. He even published a cookbook under the same name to complement his show. Coolio's presence in the entertainment industry continued to grow as he participated in Celebrity Big Brother in 2009 alongside LaToya Jackson and Vern Troyer, among others. His involvement in reality TV during this period highlighted his versatility and ability to engage audiences beyond his music. In 2009, Coolio faced legal issues once again when he was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport. Security personnel discovered a crack pipe in his luggage, which led to his arrest on charges of possession of crack. Additionally, during the security check, Coolio reportedly grabbed a security guard's arm, which resulted in a battery charge being added to his legal troubles. Fast forward to 2013, Coolio encountered more legal difficulties when he was charged with domestic violence. Allegations surfaced that he had assaulted his girlfriend, who was also the mother of one of his children. However, these charges were ultimately dropped in 2017, clearing him of those particular accusations. In an unexpected turn in his career, Coolio announced in 2017 that he would be running for vice president alongside presidential candidate Sherry DeVille, who was known for her work as a popular star. The campaign was certainly unconventional and stirred up some media attention, but it struggled to gain serious traction. After 17 months, Coolio and DeVille decided to end their political run due to insufficient support. Despite these setbacks, Coolio never stepped back from the spotlight. He continued to produce music, give interviews, and stayed connected with his fans. His career remained active, with him always finding ways to engage with the public and share his creative endeavors. However, on September 28, 2022, the music world was shocked by the news of Coolio's sudden death. He was visiting a friend in Los Angeles, and during his stay, he excused himself to use the bathroom. After a considerable amount of time had passed, his friend grew worried due to the lack of response. Cornered, the friend checked on him and discovered Coolio unresponsive on the bathroom floor. Emergency services were called, but sadly, Coolio was pronounced dead at the scene. While initial rumors suggested a possible drug overdose, authorities didn't find any drugs or drug paraphernalia at the location. It was believed that he might have suffered a cardiac arrest. Despite his past struggles with asthma, which some speculated could have played a role in his death, his close friends insisted that he had been free from drugs and alcohol for many years. Coolio's death at 59 left behind a significant legacy, including his 10 children and 5 grandchildren. His unique contributions to music and his varied endeavors in entertainment cemented his place as a multifaceted artist who continually evolved throughout his career. That's it for today. Until next time, bye.